Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here. We're back with another 2.1 prediction video, and we really do this every patch. You can see we have a database from 1.0 all the way to 1.6 with some of the columns hidden. As we go along the video, we make our predictions and whatnot so I can keep a track record of what is going on. Now, we always like to start off this video with talking about the one that we just predicted, 2.0, to see our hit rate so you guys can kind of tell whether this is like total nonsense or is there some truth to it as well. Is there a pattern that you can predict future banners in? We did this 2.0 banner review like 1 month ago before the now, like, of course we know every single banner character, but moving forward we always do this every single patch, like a couple of weeks before any of like dreams are out. So of course, if you are into any of this, you find it fun, do leave a comment below as well. I would like to hear your guesses too. Are you more accurate than us, or who knows? It's always a fun thing that we can do as a community. So let's talk about 2.0 and then we'll quickly move in with 2.1. Our track record, how has it been so far? Generally speaking, historically, our guesses for the rerun 5 stars were never very good, but in this case, we actually did hit Jingyuan as one of the characters, and we thought that Luota was going to come about. Jingyuan was pretty clear that he will be coming back. Pure Fiction was just released in version 1.6 as of time of recording, it's like currently now. So it makes sense that they want to push him out as soon as you can to sell him when he's hot, when Pure Fiction is still like a big thing for Erudition characters in general. So I think that's like pretty clear. The one that I didn't expect for sure is Imbibitor Lune. I had no idea that this character will be coming out, but it does beg the question that I guess they want to pair characters like Imbibitor Lune and Sparkle, characters that work very well together in the same patch to force players, newer players, to spend a little bit of money so to increase sales, rather than, let's say, like putting Imbibitor Lune in 2.1 and then you might not pull for Imbibitor Lune if you do not have enough resources for Sparkle. So getting the DPS first seems to be like maybe the strategy that they're trying to go for, and then the support is like, if you want a better Imbibitor Lune, then you spend a bit of money kind of thing. A bit iffy, but we will talk about 2.1 and beyond. Where we are actually better at for our reviews is our 2.0 4-star predictions. Out of all of these characters, I must say that they didn't follow a traditional logic process for this banner, and the reason for that is because of this new Fateful Crossings thing, the 4-star selector, where you can choose between like Sampo, Esta, Yukong, and Kui Naifen for in the first half of 2.0. If you see here, out of all the 4 characters for free, Esta, Sampo, and Yukong were what we predicted to come out in 2.0, following the logic that we mentioned in our previous video as well. Unfortunately, because of this new banner, and it was a thing where even the live stream didn't have the character cast, so I do think like the separate team who was deciding the banner characters decided that maybe since you had like the 4 stars for free, they will start to switch up the characters, so they introduced new characters. In this case, Esta wasn't around, Sampo is still around, Pella was swapped out also, Yukong, because she's a free character, also swapped out, but they definitely kept like Sampo, Qingque as the same characters, and instead they decided to do some stuff that they have never done before, which affects our prediction moving forward. Let me just talk about a few. The first thing is they have never ever reran a character like Tingyun here. As you can see, she was released in 1.6 Blade banner, and immediately after that, or let me go ahead and like hide this thing here, if not it's going to be like a bit confusing for you guys, right? So okay, let's hide it. So this is like 1.6, 2.0 now, the actual. And they have never actually done this, where Tingyun was released 1 patch before her next rerun. If we like scroll back in the history of all of Honkai Star Rail so far, the earliest that they ever have done is like 2. They have never gone like back-to-back patches, you see the same character. It's like hardly the case. The only ones were here, as you can see, Susang, you have a bit of Pella here, you have a bit of Serval, Yukong, but everyone pretty much followed this rule. And the first person to break it, of course, is Tingyun. She doesn't only break her neck, but she also breaks like traditional concepts or patterns that is appearing too. So 1 cycle, this is very strange, because moving forward we don't really know, or this pattern has to be watched more carefully as well, because can she appear 3 times like right here too? We have no idea. We'll have to see it moving forward too. But that's not the only pattern that changed. 8 cycles are quite common now in general, like we have the pattern of 8 cycles, but there has been a first character who hasn't had 9 appearances so far, and that is Yukong. This one I think is more understandable because they are putting her free in version 2.0 first half, so we could see like maybe a 10 or 11 cycle. We'll talk about it in a little bit as well, but this is also a first where no character has not appeared for 9 banners consecutively as the banner character. So that is a new thing that appeared too. Other than that, the other most unique thing is probably they decided to stick with the new character appearing the first half Previously, Xue in 1.6 was the only time a new 4-star character that was released in the first half of the event or on the patch. Now Misha is like following that trend that Xue set as well. So Misha is also following in terms of being set in the first half too. So that is something definitely very, very different for us to get used to. But all that yabba dabba aside, now let's go ahead and talk about our 2.1 predictions. And of course, we'll be doing the same thing for 2.2 once we are closer to the date and we have more information on 2.1 banner, which will likely be in a month's time as well. So first things first, the one thing that we always need to know is the banner cycle order always follows their drip marketing pattern. The first one that appeared was Acheron, so it makes me feel like the first half is going to be an Acheron, and the second half is going to be an Aventurine, just based on the same pattern that has been going around for all this while. One thing to know, of course, in case you guys missed it, 2.0 is going to be 7 weeks long instead of the usual 6. I do think it's because, I think 1.5 was shortened to 5, so they are putting back that week on here. But it's also because there's a Lunar New Year celebrations for China, which means a lot of their people won't be working. So I think that creates like a nicer timeline for them. They have 7 weeks, 1 week's like holiday, so it's the usual pattern for them in terms of work schedule. That's why it's extended. That's my best guess at least. So 2.1, I think that this is going to be the banner. Acheron first, you will have Aventurine next. In terms of the rerun, who are we left from the initial crew? If we scroll all the way back here to, I would say the initial crew is anything before 1.4, because this is when we first saw Zealer's rerun. Anything before that is like Topaz, and before these were all like single banner characters in general. We have only Luota who hasn't appeared, Fucc, Jingliu, and Topaz left. So our choices are a few, unless they decide to rerun like Silver Wolf or Zealer again, which I think odds are pretty low, but there is still a probability. My guess right now, if we talk about 2.1, what did we just get? We got skill point buffers, we got a bit of DOT enablers here, and their Aventurine is like a sustain kind of characters, so we probably wouldn't be seeing like another sustain character in 2.1. In my opinion at least. We might be seeing a bit of a more DPS character, which makes me feel like either Jingliu or Fucc is going to be making an appearance. So okay, let me just say, I guess my best guess will be Jingliu will be appearing here. I think she has a high likelihood of appearing. Luota also could appear, but I'm not too sure about this because I don't know whether they want to have like a competing role with Aventurine to like shift away people from pulling for Luota. Instead they go for like or fighting each other in the same patch. Does feel a little bit iffy, which makes me feel like maybe I think Fucc or Topaz. Let's just say it might be a Topaz as well as a Jingliu rerun. That's my gut feel. I think we will see either one of these two characters. Since we already have like a new 4-star sustain character that's coming out, we also have a new 5-star sustain character that's coming out. I don't think they will put either Luota or Fucc in this half. We might take a while to see Luota again. And based on pattern, I don't think that they will put the more sellable DPS character in the second half. Rather, they will force players to choose between like Acheron or Jingliu, or actually I'm not exactly too sure. Will they cannibalize their sales because they are both waifu characters? So whereas like Imbibiter Lune and at least Black Swan are kind of like opposites, so they target different groups of people as well. And in the past, you can see like one waifu or one female character, one male character, so you at least have a larger audience target, which makes me think like, I think it will be a high chance that Jingliu is going to be together with Aventurine, and in this case, I think Topaz might be together with Acheron, because Topaz is more niche, so she doesn't really like compete together with a character like Acheron, in my opinion. So I'll lock in this as my guess for 2.1. 5 stars probably might be this, and we've mentioned our logic as well. So imaginary character has a higher tendency to have imaginary support coming up as well, which is why I think we might see Yukong in the next patch, especially since she hasn't been around for like 9 cycles. I am not sure whether they will put her together with Aventurine or whether they will put her together with Acheron, because it doesn't really make much sense to be here on the banner character unless of course they don't really care about selling Acheron that much. 10 cycles does seem a bit far. I'll put Yuko in the first half just because it has never been to 9 cycles and it might not even like go to the full 10. So Yuko I'll put in like the first slot here. That is my guess for this character. And very simply put, I'm just going to go through like characters that I think haven't been around for a really long time. Like for example Pella here. Let me just find a Pella icon. So Pella hasn't been around for like 8 cycles. The max she can do based on pattern is like going to 9 and then appearing on this. So I'll just leave her here temporarily. And I hope they don't do this Tingyun stuff again, like 1 cycle in between. That will be extremely difficult to predict, right? Like super hard for me to do my job. I have a feeling Ireland is coming back. Generally, so far from what we've seen, Ireland has come back on banners with characters that you would pull for regardless on the banner. Like, it doesn't really affect. Like, he doesn't have synergy with the banner character. Like, Blade and Ireland, okay-ish. Don't really have super synergy. Ireland as well as Ho Ho here, not that much synergy either. But, so I think he might see appearance in one of these two, especially maybe this part here. Maybe together with Aventurine, since he's more of a sustained support. Of course, we have Gallagher, who's going to come in my guess would be in the first half. Since you have a sustain in the second half, I think Gallagher will come in the first half together with Acheron. So we have 1, 2, one more that I need to find. Acheron is known to be a lightning nihility character, which means we might see, my guess is Serval, maybe? I'm not exactly sure like what Acheron does. It's just purely guessing right now. So I think that either Acheron or Esther will come about. But higher chance is probably Serval, since Esther came out in the 2.0 free character selection. And yeah, that is my guess. Luca might come back out as well. I think Luca, my gut feels like Luca could come back around. He hasn't been around for quite a while. And it does make sense if Nihility Acheron is anything to do with DOT whatsoever, like maybe pairs with Black Swan or Kafka, Luca could be possibly one of the ways that they want to introduce him back into the game. Then again, Aventurine, I have no idea what the main two characters do at this point of time, so it's just purely based on like my interpretation of patterns and guessing. So what am I like focusing on? 1 cycle, I think the chances are very low. It's only happened once, so having like a back-to-back. So characters like Misha, characters like Gui Naifen, characters like Ting Che, Ting Yun, I assume that they're not coming back because the pattern is like way too short for them to rerun. It has only happened once in the past, and I think that was an exception just because of the new 4-star banner that came about. They wanted a bit more value to sell the banner, since you already have like a free character choice there. But other than that, I'm sticking to that rule. I'm not going to take any character who has appeared in 2.0 to come out again. And I'm sticking very firmly with the belief that any character who hasn't appeared for like 8 cycles will likely come out in the next patch. That is why I think Pella should be here. We have Esther, Serval, and these are like all my selected choices that I think might appear. Out of all these, how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have to remove 1 because Gallagher is definitely a confirmed appearance. I think out of all of them, the chance of Yukong appearing is likely the highest, but I think she might be together with Aventurine on an imaginary banner. It sells better that way. I'm just like thinking from a marketing perspective for them. If you put this here, might sell better. If you have Serval or Esther together with Acheron, could be interesting. Also pairs pretty nicely with Topaz and Nambi. In that case, I don't think if it's rerunning Jingliu, they will put Pella together. It's just too efficient. I think they will shift Pella here to run together with a DPS character like Acheron if she's a DPS, or Topaz and Nambi. In that case, maybe they will shift Esther here, since you have or maybe they'll do something like this. They'll put this here and put her here, shifting it. Of course, we are still excess of 1. Maybe not Luca. Maybe I'll take Luca out. He could either be here. I'll lock in my first half as Pella, Esther, as well as Gallagher. You have a balance of support. You have a balance of harmony and a bit of defense breaking. They are highly likely Pella is coming out. I just don't think it'll be together with Jingliu. It just makes no sense. It doesn't sell, force players to spend more money, and I don't think Hoyoverse will do that. Gallagher, Aventurine together with Yukong seems quite nice. Previously, Yukong has appeared usually with imaginary characters. She should have appeared together with Imbibitor Lune in the same pattern, but of course she's a free character in 2.0. That's why I think that they broke this slight pattern as well. Let me just see. You have Ireland here. I think Ireland likely will come out with a sustain. Maybe I'll take away Luca. Luca could always wait for the next cycle. Maybe, who knows? It might be Sam or something like that to play with. Of course, in my opinion, it's like either Ireland or Luca here. But let's lock in this one just for the sake of not making this video a 200-minute video because we are guessing. So my final guesses, first half Acheron and Topaz and Nambi, second half Aventurine and Jingliu. We have Pella here, very long cycle. You have Esther here, a decent amount of cycle but works pretty well, the banner cycle, especially giving a bit of burn, a bit of support here for the team. I don't think any of the other Harmony characters will come out too early in the first half. Serval in the second half here, she hasn't been around for a while, adding a bit of shock into the game, especially for players who don't have Kafka or whatnot, and maybe you're pulling for, you already put Black Swan, you already put, like, for example, Acheron. I think Serval might make an appearance, just a wild guess. Yukong hasn't been around for 9 cycles. If she appears in the second half, she'll be around, not around for like 10 cycles, which is the highest ever seen. She's already like the highest ever seen because of the unique 2.0 situation. Ireland here, I think he will make appearance because it's a sustained character like Aventurine in the banner. So at least it's some sort of synergy together with Ireland, who really desperately needs some sort of sustain as well. And last but not least, Gallagher, of course, I think is going to come in the first half based on the pattern that we are seeing. I don't think they'll put 2 sustained characters in the same banner like Aventurine and Gallagher. Just a gut feel, and it seems like they are totally fine putting the 4-star in the first half as well. And that is my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and hopefully I'm praying that this hit rate is going to be good as well. Anyways, we do this every single patch. Check out our other videos on 2.0. We talked about the banner characters already and our thoughts on them. If you're interested in any of that, stay tuned to the channel, check it out, and see you in the next video.